to the British Comic Heroes podcast with James, Bod, and your host for this evening, Alan Raymond Walsh. Time's moving on, and we're still stuck in the 70s.
Indeed.
Well, I know I am.
Indeed.
2000 AD issue 1. I think really the cover, you've got a really dynamic logo, really love it.
Yeah.
Dan Dare seems to be the main draw here,
Yeah.
and somebody who looks like the $6 Million Man.
I said exactly the same in my notes. It's like, this is a $6 million man.
Oh,
If everyone's seen him.
It's a
Space
huge
Age
knockoff.
dinosaurs.
Yeah,
Look
well,
at that, wow.
it's a cracker. Plus the spinner.
Yeah,
But
I think the spinner really great for. Oh, look, crispy.
It's often underestimated by people now that you say 2000 AD, people think of Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
Judge Dredd wasn't the title strip.
No.
The major one
He's
at the
not in
time
it.
was Dan Dare.
He's not actually in issue 1.
He
Yeah.
could,
No.
and it's very interesting because we did. My friend Alex and some others. We ran a show called Strange New Worlds a few years ago. We had Pat Mills as the guest of honour, and Alan came on to Pat's talk. And what I did, I basically got a load of images of 2000 AD colours, and he just basically free associated looking at them, and it came up with all these wonderful anecdotes about how it's sort of put together, and it just gave us a new perspective on it. Because I love this one.
Can I just mention this
Yeah.
point, James? The videos of Pat Mills' talk from Strange New Worlds is actually on the Facebook page, so please check those out.
I can certainly recommend it. Really, really interesting. I mean, you're talking about a man who's one of the major influences on British comics.
Yeah.
But for me, you see, I remember vividly because I think the first issue of 2000 AD I ever read was issue 5. It's the one with the Mekon on the front, hovering on his chair. But to me, all the strips, like you've got here, Harlem Heroes, Flesh, and how Flesh hasn't been turned into a major Hollywood movie, I have no idea. It is perfect for it. Invasion, I thought, was laughable, to be perfectly honest. It's Cockneys versus nasty people. Mac 1, yeah, huge rip-off of the $6 Million Man. Which
It's
in
very
turn,
facially similar to
which in turn is a
the
rip-off of Superman, because they made the $6 Million Man because they couldn't get the Superman license, so they made a local adapting Martin Caden's Cyborg novels, but it is hugely derivative of it.
What I wanted to mention about 2000 AD, I think, was really action V2, but set in the future. That was the get out clause. Holland's Heroes, I'm thinking Rollerball. Flesh, I'm thinking, I can't think what the name of it is. Valley of the Grangie. It's the Cowboys versus
elements of that.
Yeah.
Invasion, I think, is Death Wish.
Yeah.
With Nazis, right?
Yeah.
Space Nazis. Mac 1, $6
But
million.
they're not from space. They're from
another
Asia.
station.
Yeah,
and I just thought it doesn't fit right with it.
Well, the name Volgons.
Vulcans. That's it. Yeah. The
Could be another planet, couldn't it?
Yeah. I'd kill for that. The
Biotronic.
stickers to be a Biotronic Man, not bionic at all, even though it's got
Biotronic.
all the letters in it.
And then you've got Dan Dare, which is the draw here, but it's nothing like.
No.
It's Dan Dare hurled into another type of scenario, isn't it?
But it's
New
actually-
face, new uniform.
different face, new
Just
uniform.
same letters.
Yeah.
But it's Buck Rogers.
Yeah.
being shot
It's
into
much
the
more
future.
small. Yeah.
So,
I thought Dan Dare was the most disappointing strip of the whole comic, I have to say.
Which I think is why Dredd became the lead for it. You know, it really sort of overshadowed it. Invasion, like I say, I just thought was
I
the image of the
Yeah.
invasion itself is good.
Yeah.
It reminded me very strongly, curiously, of War of the Worlds. That sense of this is like a projected massive weapons being deployed against you kind of thing. And the 70s, of course, people were very worried about war and invasion and nukes and things. So
I did enjoy the strip.
It's
I have
just
to
the
say.
central character. I think is two-dimensional.
When it got to the end, it's like I want to read more.
Yeah.
I actually like the opening panel here.
It's very
when they're
dynamic.
attacking. It's page 3. No, it's not page 3. 1, 2, 3. Page 4.
It's thrill one. That helps.
But, it's thrill. Let's
Thrill
do
one.
thrill.
Thrills. That's where it's at.
They're attacking the GPO tower.
Yeah.
Brilliant image.
Iconic imagery. Yeah.
You've got
Angela Rippon in the bottom right-hand corner.
I didn't clock that actually.
That's it.
No,
Yeah,
I spotted
and she's
it.
on
Yeah.
a stereo
panorama. Yeah.
which make 3D TV.
Yeah.
This is
that
1999,
4K?
by the way.
Yes, this is meant to be. Yeah.
So
But this is the 1970s image of what 1999 was meant to be. Although Angela Rippon has aged incredibly well.
She
To
has
be
here.
fair, she has. Yeah.
I'm
Cloning,
really
I
liking this backstory.
Yeah.
The setting is really good. It's the lead character is just dreadful.
This cracks me up somewhat.
Yep.
What, King Charles?
King Charles III.
King Charles III.
Well,
1999, so I'm expecting the Queen to have lasted long.
And is that a moustache she's sporting there? Or?
Yes.
I don't know.
It
yes,
is.
it is.
Yeah.
It's zipper
But
toe,
she has endured better than anything. Yes.
But then, look at that. What a great setup.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you get the Nazi
Yeah,
image
but then
turn up.
Look what happens here. Look what happens here. Then it's like, come and have a cup of tea, mate. And he's like, you haven't got a house anymore, Savage. Stray Shot blew it away. There's nothing left. And this tips him over the edge. He becomes Death Wish, Charles Bronson, because his house and his cup of tea's been destroyed.
His family.
Look what's left.
Oh, you ain't running from no dirty
shotgun.
Vulcans. Yeah,
And not only that, but a shotgun that's loaded. That's the key thing.
Seriously, it's like this brilliant build-up, and then suddenly you get this rotten knockoff Cockney bad boy who suddenly is turned into the Great Messiah. I'm going,
I think that's a really strong start. I
agree.
think
Until this point, this last page, it just ruined it.
I love the setup, the world, and it's like I want to explore more of this. Definitely.
Yeah. But it's like I said, it's.
Having bought issue 1 of this and read that, I would definitely buy it.
I'd have been quite keen if they'd had Harold Shand from the Long Good Friday. So, what? The Vulcans? Nah. But this
is the
Flash,
one
I thought was brilliant.
This is the one where you think this would be a Hollywood movie.
I'm seriously. I said to Pat, I could not believe this is isn't it? Because for one thing,
this looks very much like Chris Pratt now in Jurassic World. You know, dinosaurs in the background. He's riding his motorbike through them.
But it's one of those films that was interesting because in terms of CGI, which I do a lot of, the CGI developed in certain ways. So, for example, one of the first things they managed to do was fluid mechanics. So you got the film A Perfect Storm, which is all about the sea and storms and that. Now, they managed to do the animation for things like dinosaur skin fairly early on, but they couldn't do things like fur. So you get things like Disney's Dinosaur before you get things like Jumanji, right? Because of the technology. But they could have done this, as say, with Jurassic Park type technology, and it's perfectly set up for it. It's a great premise. It's an idea that the future is so devoid of meat that they send time-travelling hunters back into the prehistoric past to hunt the dinosaurs. Elements of Ray Bradbury's Delicate Sound of Thunder, I think they're the hunters who go back into time to shoot the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Yes. But they alter the timeline.
Steps on the butterfly.
Yeah, they sort of like
the butterfly effect.
Exactly. It's not the butterfly effect. This is cute as a point. I had a huge argument on Wikipedia.
So we've opened up a tangent.
But it is.
This is why we're going to another episode.
Exactly, and indeed serious. But no, seriously, it's just look at this for a kid. Yeah. Dinosaurs and cowboy hunters hunting dinosaurs. What is not to like in this setup?
Yeah,
it's a trick.
I do think there's a movie there.
Yeah,
I really do.
Most definitely.
It's actually really nicely done.
Yeah,
I must admit.
And it's all very struck me when I was looking back at it. It's very British in the way that the imagery's done.
Yeah,
the layout, the imagery, brilliant. British illustration.
Right, as a
Dan Dare, ginger, bad haircut of the future.
Yeah.
Just dire. Sorry, compared to
it wasn't as fun.
I'm liking a splash page.
Yeah,
the art is fine.
I've got to say,
I don't like Dan Dare.
Forgive me, I've got to say, I'm going to be a dissenting voice in this. I think it's horribly cluttered. I think they've overdone the panels on it. I think the tendrils coming from it are hideous. I think the colours are garish. You compare it to something like I know we were looking at the black and white version, but you compare it to the frame layouts and the aesthetics of the Surfer. That's way ahead of this. Well, way ahead. This is a mess. Sorry.
Okay, I actually do like it. I would say maybe the colours aren't to my liking. I do wonder what this would look like in black and white, and would you feel differently if it was actually black and white?
I would scale the central ship down by about 15%, so I'd have black between this and the panels. I scale the panels down very slightly. If you didn't try to put so much into it, plus the fact it's all these captioning things on it, I just think I think they've tried too hard on that one. Now this is better. That's much better.
Black and white.
See that better. Yeah, that's vastly better laid out.
I'm liking the art. I just don't care about the character.
No, agreed. I thought it was horrendous.
Then we get I suppose the iconic image of. I think this was used on an annual, wasn't it? It's slightly based on a 2000 AD annual with Dan Dare on the cover.
Yeah, I've got that one.
Don't like it. I don't know. It's not down to me. It's not Dan Dare, and he's got the double D on, so you might think he was Daredevil. So,
yeah. Particularly from his kicking pose.
it's just very awkward.
It
didn't feel down there.
The obvious trick that's being pulled is they're using an existing comic property as a draw for a new title, but it didn't work. Mach 1 I thought was better, but then it is a knockoff, but it's fun.
Yeah, this felt more like a traditional British comic character with a power. But it is what it is. It is very much $6 million man. The art's lovely.
The thing that struck me is I thought that it was partly that it was some kind of malfunctioning computer that had burnt the circuits onto him. This is obviously showing it's some kind of deliberate implant.
Yeah.
Now they did go on many years later to do a Mach 0, which was interesting because Mach 0 made it more mature and it showed that this is very much boy's own adventure sort of thing. But the Mach 0 showed that there was in fact a prototype of Mach 1 who was powerful but was driven mad by the process. And really quite a dark thing. Now that shows, I think, is in microcosm what happens with 2000 AD, that as things go on, they started to explore the dark side of a lot of their imagery. And it was also ripped off to a degree by the Bionic Woman series, the remake with Michelle Ryan, because their Jamie Summers again has an earlier prototype who's driven insane, a female Bionic Woman who predates her, but she is mad, and I think is very strongly influenced by the Mach 0 strip.
Right, so moving on with
look at that. I mean, that's just... if you were Lee Majors, would you not sue for your image for being used there?
Do you know what?
Your likeness?
Looking at the last panel, I'm actually really liking the Vulcan.
I love the Vulcan bomber.
For the benefit of those at home, we're talking a Vulcan bomber. It isn't, in fact, Leonard Nimoy making a small cameo. But yeah...
So a bit of Thunderbolt going on there.
That was if a Vulcan goes overhead, you know about it.
It does make me feel I want to see the next part of it.
I mean, I used to live in Lincoln, Borough, Wellington, where they're based.
Yeah.
Every day, beautiful.
That leaves us with
Harlem Heroes.
Is that Dave Gibbons? There's no credits on here. I've just noticed there's no credits.
No.
I think it's Dave Gibbons.
Could be.
It looks very speedball.
But things like this, like Rollerball, very big in the cinema, sort of this kind of imagery.
It's actually
it's a kind of imagery for of a future where sports become this extreme sort of thing. That was quite a common sort of conceit in the 70s.
But do you know what?
Sci-fi imagery.
Go to that last colour page, and I just love it.
That's good.
You're talking brains in jars,
yeah,
right? And they're going to go and win the cup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That is...
There's something about brains in jars, isn't there?
Oh, yeah. Theoretically, it's a philosophical problem. We don't know that we aren't them. You couldn't tell.
Yeah, we could all be brains in jars.
Exactly.
And you could be too.
Exactly.
Right, so what did we think of 2000 AD? I would say on the strength of that.
On the strength of that first issue, you definitely invested in it further.
I certainly got a massive nostalgia kick from seeing those very early strips. But equally, I liked seeing something that was British and different from the stuff that we were that was more common at the time. And it was a breath of fresh air, that thing.
Right, we're moving quickly on. We're now into the 1980s. 3rd of October 1984. Fortnightly. The Transformers. I think Bod will probably dive into this one. I'm loving the cover here. It's not particularly clean version we're looking at.
Iconic image for anyone who's bought any Transformer toy. That picture right there. Optimus Prime and Soundwave going full on. It's a great cover.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic cover. Yeah. That would have cost you 25p of your Transformer money.
Yep.
Right, so we're going into a couple of editorial pages. Then we're going straight into a reprint. I think.
Reprint of US Marvel Transformers issue 1, which was at the time a 4-part series.
Yes.
And then got immediately extended.
Very classic Marvel cosmic imagery, like we said before, from the Surfer.
Yeah.
Very, very similar sort of style.
Very true.
Bill Manto gave the plot. I can't now remember who wrote this, but it was based on a Bill Manto plot, who probably people would know from Guardians of the Galaxy. I must admit, I don't like the art.
No, I've got to say I'm not a fan of this stuff.
I don't like the colour either. This would have been, as we said earlier about American comics, it would have been more of a pastel-looking colours. The colours are too strong here.
Yeah, I mean the character design of the Transformers in the early issues. I mean, in issue 1 of the US comics, it's a very stylised look of how the toys looked. when it came to Marvel UK doing their first issue themselves to fill in the gaps before the next US issue, it's very telling that they looked exactly like the toys did.
Yes.
Which, you know, stands out after having read these first few issues.
Yeah.
And then it's only kind of later on that they kind of made their own kind of style of how they look.
Even as a splash page, I just don't. What do you reckon? I don't like that.
I mean, even as a Transformers fan, that's an ugly page to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's imbalanced, poorly laid out.
Things.
I mean, I remember Rom, the Space Knight, which again was a thing of trying to using comics to try and sell a rather badly made toy. To be perfectly honest,
the comics look better.
No, well, I liked. I thought the Star Raid stuff and the Galador stuff was really, really good. And of course, he's resurfaced. Rom was resurfaced in things like the. What was it? The sort of like this cosmic level sort of battle that they were doing, which I was staggered by, to be honest. But I just found that I like the art better. This stuff, I just find this is. It's not an era that I have a great affection for.
To me, it's
conveyor belt. I've got to say, I'm not a Transformers fan. It's after my time.
I think it's conveyor belt stuff.
Yeah.
I think it was Marvel getting as many miniseries out. They've done toy times before. I don't think they realised how big Transformers.
It does have an issue as well, in the sense that because they're representing these toys and robots, they haven't really got much in the way of human expression. And I think that's a thing that actors often say when they're having to play mask work, that they don't have the expressibility there. And I think this
reading it as a kid, it felt like it had all the emotion in the world. Like I knew Megatron was angry, but then they really did put the expression in the artwork. And this was at a stage when the UK comic was far taking over from the US, and it really was a league of its own.
Yeah, Machine Man, I quite like Machine Man.
This is the odd backup. Do you know the origins of Machine Man? Where that came from?
Oh no, a long time ago. I couldn't say it with accuracy now.
All right. Basically, Jack Kirby did a Treasury Edition adaptation of 2001: Space Odyssey, the movie. Right. But it must have sold well that they actually did a continuation that Jack Kirby wrote and drew. When he got to, I don't know what issue it was, maybe around about issue 8, he did one based on a robot. The robot then was spun off. I think 2000 AD was cancelled. 2001 was cancelled, and they did a Machine Man spin-off, which Kirby did for X amount of issues. Then Steve Ditko takes over the art, and I've got great respect for Steve Ditko, but this is not, in my opinion, his finest work.
No.
I think if you look at his Spider-Man stuff, the first issue he ever did, the last issue, there's so much development. The same with Doctor Strange. You look at Machine Man.
It's rather generic.
It's not great. I don't know.
And as a backup to the Transformers, I always found this really unengaging. It's like, I don't know quite why this is here.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can just flip through it and it's like, not for me.
Marv Wolfman, so he's a great writer. Steve Ditko, I do like Steve's art. It just doesn't.
That way round.
What did I say?
Dicto.
T before K.
Yeah, Ditko, definitely.
I've been saying his name wrong for 50 years.
Ditko.
I'm not even going to go there.
Ditko.
Yes, exactly.
Ditko.
Yeah, Ditko. Okay. It's easy to do with that, things like that. But I just found Machine Man. I tended to come across him in support roles in other strips and things rather than read his strip, directly.
Yeah.
But it wasn't particularly engaging.
What I'd say is the colouring, I think, is again stronger than the original page, but it seems to work better.
Yeah.
I don't know the simplified graphic.
I do love the robots article here. Let's fit that in.
That's horrific, isn't it? But of course, the great one here is C-3PO, who's based on the Maria robot from Metropolis. Probably the most beautiful robot ever built, who is in turn the inspiration for Jocasta, the Bride of Ultron.
Indeed, yeah.
So she gets around a bit in Marvel. No.
I think that's it for Transformers. Let's move on to. I think we're moving on to the 90s now. We need to wrap up. Toxic.
I was really fond of Toxic.
Toxic was really good.
A lot of fun.
A great title.
Martial Law, I thought, was vicious. But brilliant. One of Pat Mill's great creations, and it shows how much he hates superheroes with a passion. We have things like sort of like the cry. Was it the public? The one before what you see in martial law in Toxic was when he goes against the Public Spirit, which is that sort of the knockoff Superman. It really is vicious.
Absolutely.
And this is it's just
Kevin O'Neill's artwork, absolutely brilliant. It just really fits
it's very dark, very savage, very satirical,
and everything's a striking image.
I've just found myself laughing at some of the boxes. You've got martial laws explaining stuff.
Well,
I'm a hero hunter. I hunt heroes. I haven't found any yet. And he's clearly beating up on one superhero.
Some call it police brutality. I call it reasonable force.
It's
classic line.
It's basically because he's very, very much built on this sadomasochistic imagery. Things like barbed wire around his arms and things like that.
And he's saying, when you're dealing with people who feel no pain, and you've got a picture of the superhero laid out, and there's a nice boot print on his groin area.
I can have black mask.
We're back on crotches again. But it's vicious. It's really vicious satire. The idea is that these people in the future have been they've created very, very dark super soldiers to fight in war. Some of them have basically gone a bit further and tried to make themselves out to be comic book heroes, and they're not. They're and martial law is just a vicious hunter who takes these people down. Some of it is really cool. It's like there's an incredibly vicious Batman, the Public Eye, I think it is, or something. There's something Eye, and then there's the one he has this incredible takedown of an Avengers type team with the great cry "Assholes assemble!" And there's a bit of a Daredevil character leaps down and tries to grab onto a flagpole on the way down. His arms rip off and his body just falls down to the ground. Then there's a Human Torch who ends up roasting somebody over him. It's it just shows the hatred that Pat has of these standard superhero type archetypes.
This is a good page that demonstrates that. It's like, I'd never dream of using bullets on heroes. Instead, I administer attitude correction capsules.
Yes. But I think this leads on to things later ones, even more vicious ones, like The Boys, which are really sort of going in. They're pointing out that some of the stuff that you see in superheroes, it's like The Boys, for example, people literally punch through each other. That sort of thing. Or I really liked in Crisis, the sort of companion title to this, The New Statesman. I thought their take on the superheroes was brilliant. I'd love to see that done cinematically.
I think it was a companion title to 2000 AD.
Fair point. Fair point.
To avoid any confusion.
Yes,
I rather like this scene. Next time called to a domestic. Sacred Cow is accusing maniacs of infidelity. Difficult to deny when his girlfriend Hell's Kitten got stuck while she was phasing him.
Yes.
Trying separating that lot, and they'll end up turning on you. I decided to leave it to them. And there's a picture of maniacs with his girlfriend who's phased halfway through his crotch,
looking suspiciously like Kitty Pryde. It must be
that's exactly what I was thinking. They're funny. You could imagine that being in a film and they're just panning over with the voiceover. Very, very funny.
And this
beats up a hero for money.
This one, whenever I see this, I keep thinking of Captain Scarlet with this. But there's a superhero who can't feel pain is indestructible, so he gets people to beat him up, basically. And it's like Captain Scarlet. What do you do to earn a crust after the war with the Mysterons has ended?
That's mind-boggling. It's just a fantastic strip.
Total satire.
Then he martial law's being reprimanded by somebody who looks like Robin, saying, "Well, that's what happens when heroes don't use an agent." You despise us heroes so much, Marshall. If you think we're all pathetic and juvenile, why do you do this job? Why do men go to zoos? And then just look on his face.
The truth is, I was a hero of myself once.
Yes. Yeah. What a great start. Right. This is
Accident Man.
One of my favourite.
Absolutely beautiful.
This is amazing.
What's there not to like? I just love the logic of him explaining how he's doing his hit.
Stylophile and professional assassin.
It reminded me of just watching Leon, the way he went through that first hit.
I did see today an astonishing painting of Leon by Bill Sienkiewicz. This is just exquisite. It just blew me away. Absolutely. Again, I just love Sienkiewicz's stuff. Yeah. So this I remember reading this, the first issue, and shots like the bit where he accidentally he punches someone just again, not deliberately into the armpit. And that imagery has stayed with me for over 30 years.
This is, I think Bodgy said you found there was a bit of a contrast in the narrative.
Yeah, he's done the first hit, and now we're introducing the other characters in as well, in the local, bit of a story for each of them. But it seemed to lull for me at this point. It was like, let's get on with it, let's explore more.
He's taken on some northern lads who are not behaving themselves in a local pub, and it does kind of feel... It doesn't feel worthy of the character, I think. So yeah, there's a nice action sequence there. Okay. Then he goes to his local, which is the Oasis, where he meets. This one always fascinates me: the yodeling Axeman. There's not much call for his style these days, except the odd example killing, but he's still one of the lads. It's just a nice little conceit in the story that all these dark characters hang out together.
Because I think initially I called this a strip of two halves, but I think really it's 3/3. You've got your hit, the fight scene in the pub, and then he goes to his local, and each one kind of, for me, it's stepped down, and it's like you're starting to lose me now. But the time it gets to the end of it, but I still wanted to know more.
But I think it's playing that game deliberately. It's deliberately going downbeat in certain parts rather than sort of being as in your face as a lot of things will be. I think he was experimenting.
These strips were, I'm not quite sure what the window was, maybe 2-3 months, but they were reprinted in a monthly. Apocalypse Presents, which was the publishing name for Toxic.
Okay.
Right, next one. I have no memories of this at all. Rod and I spoke about this one earlier.
Yeah.
You didn't get this at all? What about you, James?
I just think it's a bit messy. I think it's over-cluttered. I think the colour palette isn't strong enough and diffuse enough.
This is Muto Maniac, by the way.
Yeah, I just think it's just... Yeah, I just thought it's interesting. I mean, I recognise the style, but it just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, I mean the style was fine, but the actual script itself is like I'm not sure why I should be engaging with this.
Yeah. It does seem I want to say amateurish.
It's stylised, but in a not a particular. It's like
I don't mind the art. It's the script. It doesn't
gel.
Yeah,
it's like why should I care about this character? It hasn't even given me a reason for that.
Yeah, but then it ends at a point where you think, well, I don't.
He's buggered off. It's like, and
I think we're bugging off as well. However,
Sex Warrior coming soon.
That was not necessarily worth the wait.
But a great piece of art, I have to say. That was really look. You look at the art style.
The art was really
good. This I remember this vividly. This particular strip,
Oh my God, this is beautiful artwork on
here.
Bisley.
It's again, Bisley's very good at this kind of stuff.
Love it. I think this is a throwaway story. I mean, it's in one issue. It's not continuing. And everything you need to know is on that first page. Which if you've not read it,
it's very spaghetti western-like in its imagery, which is interesting because, of course,
Grant Bisley, 1990.
I mean, other than speech, you don't need any other words to describe what's going on because the art speaks for itself. It just conveys everything you need to know.
It's moody and it's vibrant as well. It's just.
As we've seen with his work on Dread and so forth,
and Slain,
It's
very good, very like the sort of the work you see in Business Slain, I think.
And as a one-off strip, which you might be able to see as filler.
No, I didn't see it as that. I enjoyed it, and it haunts you.
I think as a one-off story,
I've got much better memory of this than I have of the two previous strips I've looked at.
Muto Maniac is the filler, and that's a continuous
story. Give us more of this. Let's not worry about Muto Maniac.
Yeah, totally agree.
This is the whole point, is that basically the vicious revenging cowboy has gone to the wrong town and killed everybody at the wrong town. But it is a great twist.
It's signposted literally on the first page.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
So we've got then, I find this quite a controversial strip, not for any other reason, that people seem to really love it. and I must admit, I didn't care for it. And this, if you're not familiar with Toxic, it was The Driver, which I think was 1 page or 2 pages every issue, and it was a very, very long truck with lots of carriages after it, and you saw more and more of the carriages each week, and he'd be running over people and going through towns and stuff like that.
Because this is literally the only page on this book, isn't it?
This is just an ad, but there's no strip here. No. But people on the letters page, people say, "Oh yeah, I really love Driver." Don't care. I really like the other strips, but maybe I'm not in touch with it. Right. So on the last page is do your friends have mad comic disease? No. Tell them to go toxic. Nice image here by Kev O'Neill. A toxic type vehicle about to run over a startled hedgehog. That's all we need to know, really. Right. I think on that note, I think we've covered the bases. Any last thoughts about what we've looked at tonight?
I liked seeing the Britishness of the British strips, and interesting to see how we Brits had adapted the American material in the Marvel UK reprints and things like that. Noticing, as you're saying, things like the editing of frames and captions, things like that. But there is a definite difference of style that I found. I think that the British one came much more out of an illustrative tradition, so that the way we draw, or our comic book artists drew, and the detailing was different, and the composition different. Then it gets, and you can see the iconic influence of 2000 AD when it starts to, and that really does influence generations of artists that come after it, and has a knock-on effect into the American industry, when the people who came in out of 2000 AD, like Alan Moore and people like that, and Grant Morrison, served their time and Bisley and things, and have gone on to become major players in the comic industry. So I think it's been really nice to see that, and I like the way we've covered a range of things, going from the 60s up to the 90s. I find it the least one I had least interest in was Transformers, because it's just something that's outside my particular age group and interest.
Right. So, can I bring you in here?
Yeah.
Out of the magazines we've looked at today, obviously James has. He's not dissimilar to my views on Transformers.
Sure.
How do you feel about the content? Some of it is obviously not of your era.
No, I mean, obviously when we get to 2000 AD, because of its longevity, I'm familiar with the format, but it was nice to read issue 1. I've never read issue 1 before. Some of the Marvel stuff that was reprinted, I hadn't seen the reprints in the British comics, black and white, and the artwork did look absolutely lovely and crisp and clean in that. Just a real jar for me, not having been in this vibrant colour that I've seen in other reprints.
It's also very interesting when you see the originals as opposed to on a tablet, because you're seeing it about that size.
Yeah,
you
lose something from that.
Yeah, you see that, and you've opened it up at that double page. You get some effects and things that you don't get in any other way. And again, whereas like the Treasure editions were bigger, but the colour work on them was poor. So but where you get decent quality paper, it was not brilliant, but you get that, and you get the strong, rich black blacks that you used to use on it. Really, when you look back at it.
So I thought Countdown was a very interesting title, just for it's obviously so British and so of the era of what was on telly at the time.
Yeah,
and
it is. Yeah.
It's a real one. It's a real seller, really, isn't it? It's like kids, you're watching this on TV
Saturday
like
night,
that.
because there were things obviously very successful titles like TV Comic, for example, and TV 21 were sort of like the dom. I think I was kind of like going on their coattails, basically.
TV Action as well.
Yeah.
There's a few, TV tie-in type. And it's surprising that they weren't more. Some of them were not more successful. TV absolutely. Comic, I think, is the only one that had any longevity.
But it's interesting to see again. It's just it's the way that we see what we Brits do differently from the Americans.
I mean, but the Transformers thing, obviously, very much my era. Something I bought religiously as a child. But those early, maybe 16 issues, maybe 20, were so kind of rough around the edges, and they hadn't found their way yet, and they had the US reprints followed by the UK original stuff before the UK really just took it and ran with the ball and really made it their own unique thing. But it's interesting to see the very first issue as it was.
I remember reading the first issue I think that was out in '85. I did own that in the day. It still might be in my archive, but I didn't enjoy revisiting it. I do love the cover. I do love the cover. That does make me want to buy it. Content's not so much.
No, I mean, it definitely picked up.
A question then, given that these were all debut issues, and if you tried to isolate it from what we know subsequently, which of them would be the most enticing of the debut issue, do you think, for you?
Good question. I would say, what was this without any
without hindsight?
Without any hindsight.
I think rereading them, it was like reading them for the first time. I'm probably reading stuff that I haven't read since they came out. I would say the one that impressed me the most was Toxic. If that came out now, I'd definitely buy it.
I would definitely buy Toxic.
I
would buy 2001. There was enough in that to make me want to buy the next issue.
And you mean 2000 AD?
Sorry,
2008. I heard 2008.
Because a year later you had 2001 in its countdown.
I'd agree with that. I think 2000 AD. But do you know what? There's something about Fantastic Issue 1.
Yeah. Well,
I'd want to see more of that.
I think all three are really strong and iconic characters, and the Kirby artwork is brilliant. It's just that, perhaps we the hindsight is interesting because you know what they go on to become. I think for me, probably the strongest debut was 2000 AD. I think that the range of stories in there. Toxic, I agree. By the time I was reading it, I was ready for Toxic, and I was looking for something a little bit more edgy.
Yeah, and it had that 90s edginess permeating for every panel. It was just.
But you're talking about 2000 AD. You're talking something that
that was a serious rival to 2000 AD. I think.
Yeah, definitely. It's a shame it's still not going.
But Mach 1 and Flesh, I remember there's a great affection. I just think they're really good. At that kind of age, I really like those kind of stories, and I really enjoyed them a great deal. So I'd probably go with them.
The other book I would buy would be Superheroes. Just the reproduction of the work, and you getting such a nice chunk of each character. That was really good, and you could just follow that.
The sad thing about the Superheroes as a title is obviously I think the Silver Surfer US, I think it goes to 18 issues. It didn't go to a particularly long run. The initial run double size issues, including the Badoon. I do want to mention the Badoon one. I think it's the Badoon one. I'm not sure. Basically, the Superheroes was going to implode because the main draw, which is the Silver Surfer, they're going to run out of strips. What they'd done is they'd halved the double size issues. Once they go to the single size issues, they start halving that. So you have to have a third strip. And that's where you get the crap coming. So you get things like Doc Savage and the Cat. They do try and elevate the X-Men to be in the cover stars and that sort of stuff. It's too little, too late, and then they do Marvel 2-in-1.
It's the problem when you repackage it, isn't it? You haven't got enough material. But I did like the comic, and it's partly just a nostalgia thing. As I said, it's one of the first ones. There are certain issues that let's say the Fantastic Annual 1970, like I say, the Superheroes issue 3. A few other sort of the various, the ones that they printed without the glossy covers were remained with me. I've still got some of the, I can't remember the titles specifically though, and particularly my first American comics, which were the I think it was Fantastic. The one that really leaps out for me is Fantastic Four 176, which is the High Evolutionary versus Galactus on Counter-Earth, just an iconic cover. And I got this when I visited my grandma. She was very ill in London. I got it down at King's Cross Station in the W.H. Smiths there as a lucky dip bag of 3, and I don't know what the other 2 were, but that FF issue has just always stayed with me with great affection. I just love Galactus basically.
Just to go to, I think Silver Surfer issue 3 with the Badoon, there was a storyline. I'm assuming it's from this one.
No, it's the Superheroes number
Sorry, probably.
That'd be right.
What I was going to say, there was a plot point where Silver Surfer goes faster than light, or whatever it is, around the Earth, like Superman the movie, ends up in the future where the barrier that Galactus has set is broken. So Silver Surfer goes back to his home planet and finds that it's ruined. So he comes back to Earth, then goes back into the past after he has an adventure in the future. Why doesn't he go round his old planet back in time to the point
because
that
it would ruin the plot? It's like it's the same thing. It's like in the Badoon. He basically stows away on the Badoon starship. And because he's inside the starship, he's able to pass through the barrier. Then he remembers that he's left a woman sort of like in a coma somewhere. It's like, oh God, I left the gas on. I've got to go back and do that. So he's to go back in it. You're going,
absolutely shocking.
Darn it.
And Galactus is going.
Right, do you want to say anything, Bod, to finish off? You've got some extensive notes there.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've covered most of them, to be fair.
That's good. Any hatching news?
Sorry,
Hachette.
No,
the cachet of
from this point forward, it's Hatchet, all right?
Hatchet. Well, as you know, announced this week, Hachette are extending the Judge Dredd Mega Collection by 10 issues, bring up to 90.
Thank goodness for that.
So, what's the...
I thought I was committed to 60 of them.
No. So it was originally 80. Now we've got 90. 90 is a bit too close to 100 not to hit 100, isn't it? Let's be honest. That's going to hit 100.
Yeah, so my 60 or 80 issue collection of the Black Collection.
Yeah. So initially 60, heroes. Knocking on the door of 150 at the moment, is going to hit 170. Let's hit 200 with that one.
No, please don't. Please stop. Please stop.
Horizon, isn't it?
Stop. Yeah. Good news, the Red Collection will get to 100 and that will stop. It will stop if no other reason than I'm going to stop buying it. I am done. 100.
I think it's got to stop.
Some of the selections though, man. I think I got.
There's been some good books.
I got a really nice collection of Project Pegasus in that, which is really.
I'm a big fan of Eagle Moss. Eagle Moss. They're doing the volumes in order. And there's, if it's a 60 volume commitment, do you know what? Stop at issue 60. That's fine. You don't have to buy 61. Hachette, like their volumes and issue number nonsense, which I've been quite critical of, and I will continue to be. Basically, they're giving you future volumes in your run. You've not even completed the run before you're buying. So I'm not a big fan of those. Although I think quality value for money. I think the Dredd Collection I would hold up as being a good example of Hachette's stuff.
I mean, the latest volume of that was so thick.
The Eagle Mosses can be a bit thin, but you know what? I actually do like the reproduction and the quality of the paper.
If you take out the issue and volume number issue, they're basically identical in the chronological sense of how they're producing them. It's as random as that. Because like the Star Trek collection, for instance, you've got Marvel Classics Volume 1. Then 8 issues later, we're going to have Marvel Classics Volume 2. Chronologically, they should be next to each other, but they won't be. There'll be a good few issues in between. If that was Hachette doing the same thing, they will probably fit next to each other. So there is an argument for either. If Eagle Moss were doing it Volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and chronologically,
if you're doing part works, please sort it out. Actually, I hadn't realised that. That's a really good point.
And the same with the Transformers. That will be chronologically in order, but of course it's very random with how they come out. Which is nice because you don't necessarily want to read through all the 80s stuff before you get to something from the 2000s, for instance. For me, that keeps it interesting and fresh. So there's an argument for and against, I think.
Right. I think I've already said final thoughts, but anything else anyone wants to say?
No, I think that's covered it. And I don't get the part work, so I'm quite immunised from all the OCD issues that go with this.
I just want to thank you all for listening and look forward to the next one.
Well, I'd like to thank James for joining us tonight. A bit of a late start, but not unexpected. I'd like to thank Bod for joining us.
Absolutely.
I'm ARW. We're British Comic Heroes. Thanks for joining us. And I think this first podcast will probably be 6 episodes long. So
see you in the
please tell us to stop now.
To be serialised.
Exactly.
Thank you and good night.
Good night.
Good night.